Hello everyone, EchoFists here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be doing a 2 weeks update post-NewAge. Usually my video is diving in straight to the content, so this time I'll be taking it slow. I'll be sharing my 2 weeks progression so far on my Viper's Hexa Matrix with my thoughts and impression on it and my plans moving forward. So today marks the 2 weeks since NewAge comes to MapleStory. So for the past 2 weeks, I have been grinding and farming a lot, guys, mainly for fragments. So this is the fragments that I mentioned. I'm referring to this soul order fragment. It's actually not that easy. So farming this, I usually run with full drop rate gears on Grandis map. So these are my drop rate gears. I try my best to get at least 20% with strength lines from my event rings. So these are the 20%, 20% and 20%. Some of them I can't get the lines yet. Okay, and lastly is the 40%. Right, I also run with Atk Spirit Pendant. Of course, I'll be grinding also. Right, alongside this, I also run with the twin coupon. So this twin coupon, at specific time slot, they will give you 100% drop rate. So this is 278 is including of the gears and also the twin coupon. Alongside that, I also run with the wealth acquisition pot, small or the big one, depending on how long I grind. Alright, alongside that, I also run with the KK chair. So this Kota Kinabalu chair, basically what happens is when you sit on it for the 30 minutes, after that you will gain a 30 minutes buff. So this 30 minutes buff gives you a 100% drop rate. So with that, I would have 398% drop rate. After the 30 minutes over, I will use Union buff, which is 50%, which equates to 348% drop rate. KK chair and Union buff does not stack. So normally I do my farming session in batches of 1 hour with break in betweens per session. So it is 30 minutes of KK chair buff and continue with another 30 minutes of Union buff. 1 hour of farming per session, and I take the chance to rest, of course, while waiting for the KK chair for 30 minutes. During this time, I do my other stuff, and mainly this is also to prevent burnout. With my experience so far, average around 15 to 25 fragments per hour. So next topic is on Viper's 6 job skill, Origin skill and Octopunch 6. So basically this is my current 6 job skill. So my main focus today is on Origin skill and Octopunch 6. First, I got 3 pointers to share my experience so far for the past 2 weeks. I've been testing it out, grinding it out, and bossing with it. One thing to take note, this skill in MapleStory is called Serpent Screw, but in GMS is called Law of the Deep. So in today's video reference, we will use with the word Law of the Deep, with the term Law of the Deep. So if you notice, before NewAge, actually when you punch, you'll be around the same range. But after NewAge, once you upgraded this Octopunch 6, right, it will actually extend. What I mean is, this is when I punch, but the Law of the Deep does not reach the target. So I need to come closer to hit the target. This is something for you to take note. Previously, it's around the same range, so you still need to, before you upgrade the Octopunch 6, you punch and your Law of the Deep is at the same range. So for now, after the 6 job update, your Octopunch is further in front, but your Law of the Deep does not hit the target. This is something for you to take note. Hopefully in the future, for the 6 job update, they might improve on this, enhance this skill entirely, make it bigger, make the ring bigger. I do not know, but hopefully. Alright, the second thing, this is something I noticed. So you notice on my keyboard there will be two toggles, right? First is the serpent screw or Lord of the Deep. Second is the sea serpent. So this sea serpent, something that I realized that if you off this toggle and then you use your origin skill, the portal where the dragons come out does not appear. So to ensure that, what you need to do is you need to make sure this is turned on and then you press your origin skill. So origin skill lasts for 30 seconds. For us, it's a summoning skill. Alright, so pros and cons, is a good DPM, yeah, but it's something that you can actually miss in actual boss fight. What I mean is, later I will show you. So first thing first, make sure you turn on. Alright, serpent screw, again, if you actually didn't toggle it on, when you use your origin skill, the portal for the next 30 seconds, it does not appear and all the dragons does not come out. Alright, so what I mean is, so I toggle already, I use origin skill, okay. Alright, so when I hit with any attack, whether is it hook bomber, what I'm referring to this portal right here. So if I were to off, it does not appear anymore, even though my Liberate Neptune, the origin skill, is still available. So when I turn the toggle skill on, it comes out again. This is something for you guys to take note. Alright, and lastly is, you notice this portal is facing one direction. So through my experience on the past weeks, I realized that in actual boss fight, the boss does not remain stationary for most of the bosses. Yeah, some bosses like Dust does not apply to this, but bosses like Heretic Healer or Venus Healer, depending which region you are playing, the boss will need you to dupe or evade their attacks. Alright, so because of that, when you are doing some bossing, you will need to attack, and I did have chance or incidents that my origin skill missed. So the stun still appears, of course, the full map attack still appears, but the portal might miss facing the wrong direction. So for my last pointer, what I meant was, when you origin skill and during actual boss fight, you might need to move around and hit the target, or when the boss requires you to evade the attacks. Right, so make sure that your toggle skill is on, your sea serpent is on, and when you origin skill, okay, so normally when you are hitting, you see these dragons will come out, but when during actual boss fight, take note that you might actually miss when you are facing other way. Alright, yep, just take note of that. That's what I noticed during my experience so far. Alright, next topic is actually on the update on the Hexa Matrix progress. So my Hexa Matrix so far for the past 2 weeks, I have been grinding a lot, of course. So this is my current upgrades. I have not touched on Hexa Matrix as of yet. I will dive into it probably in months time, or weeks to months time. Alright, so I will explain as to why I choose this to follow this build. I have a build that I'm following, I'll be sharing. Okay, so just to clarify on some information, when 6th job just released in KMS, Viper players in KMS upgraded and maxed their Serpent Screw, which is Lord of the Deep, first, as their first priority instead of Octopunch 6. Instead of this, they have been maxing out this first from those KMS players that I know. Initially, I also had the same plans to build my Hexa Matrix that way, the same way, which means that I will upgrade this first, max out this first, rather than Octopunch 6. I can understand why. It's because they do not have attack speed 0. So when NewAge finally comes to MapleStory, I did some tests taking attack speed 0 into consideration. So the test I'll be showing some pictures. So this is to prove the consistency to the test I did. I removed a roll of the dice. I removed the decent buffs. So my buffs mainly were the 2 toggles and the burst, of course. And I had 2 different type of tests with the green potion and without the green potion. This is to replicate the attack speed 0 with all the speed infusion and other factors. So with attack speed 0 basically is to replicate attack speed 0 and without attack speed 0. And the next question that some Vipers have is, with or without RR4 do I use my origin skill? So I'll be addressing these questions. So each test lasts for 1 minute. Attack skill wise, I'll bring your attention back to the origin skill, Octo Punch 6 and Law of the Deep only. So only these 3 skills, because at the point of test, to maintain the consistency, all of this was at level 1. Yeah. So what I meant by level 1 is this. At the point of the test that I did, origin skill, Octo Punch 6 and Law of the Deep or Serpent Screw was at level 1. We're showing you the pictures of the test I did, the results. So for this particular picture, alright, so basically I did origin without Ring of Restraint 4 or RR4 and also without the attack speed 0. So these are the results. Alright, next picture will be origin skill without Ring of Restraint 4 but with attack speed 0. So these are the results. You can pause the video to take a good look at it. Alright, so I'll be going back and forth. So if you were to see, alright, this is without attack speed 0. My damage were this. Bring your attention to origin skill, Octo Punch, and Law of the Deep. Alright, so if you were to move back to attack speed 0 test, alright, so the damage has increased. Alright, even Law of the Deep also increased. Take note of the use count. Use count for whether is it attack speed 0 or without, the origin skill still will be hitting at 50 times. But for the attack speed 0, Octo Punch and Serpent Screw, the use count increased significantly. Take note, this is a cumulative test at 1 minute for both. Alright. So without attack speed 0 was 99, with attack speed 0 was 156. Without attack speed 0 was 185. With attack speed 0, it's just increase of 20. Right, this is for Serpent Screw. Okay, so with this, it will brings me to the conclusion of changing my build according to attack speed 0. So for the next test is to answer one burning question. To use my Ring of Restraint first, or RR4, followed by origin skill in it, or to use my origin skill. After my origin skill has been used, I proc my Ring of Restraint and dish out my other burst. So these are the results. So for the first picture that you are seeing, assuming that both tests was done with attack speed 0 and both tests was done at 1 minute and a cumulative damage. Okay, this is with Ring of Restraint 4, which means that I press my Ring of Restraint 4 first, followed by origin skill in it. With the remaining time I have left with Ring of Restraint 4, I dish out my other burst. Okay, these are the damage. Alright. The second test was done origin skill first. After the origin skill has been proc, alright, I would use my Ring of Restraint followed by all the other bursts. So if you can see from the results, it's just a small increase. Right? So for the small increase here, the higher damage is actually without the Ring of Restraint 4. Alright, so ideally, alright, if I were to get my hands on Ring of Restraint 5, alright, I would still use my origin skill and use the remaining time I have left with the remaining buying from Origin skill, followed by my Erda Nova buying, and followed by my Lucid buying, I would just make use of that Ring of Restraint 5 without my Origin skill. So these are just my conclusion, my test. To conclude today's video, guys, based on the past 2 weeks of experience and my impression of the class so far has been great. I really enjoy the new skills and the upgrade to our Outtro Punch. Definitely our class Origin skill is not the bursty type, but it is a summoning skill for 30 seconds. And based on the test that I've done, this is the current build I'm following. Alright, so to clarify, this build is not done by me, it's not crafted by me, 100% to the owner. This was circulated through Discord. Currently, I'm at the 3rd row. I already managed to get my Origin skill to level 9, and I'm working on my Lord of the Deep to level 7. I'm still working on it to level 8 before I move on to Howling Fist. To bring you back to sense of reality, alright, to make my Origin skill level up to level 10, I would need 200 fragments. So, if you were to do the math correctly, with my current drop rate, right, I'm hitting around 1 hour 15 to 25 fragments, and I need 200. That will be a lot of grinding and farming, guys. So make sure to get your drop rate gears up. Alright, and all the best to you guys out there. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. For the next upcoming videos, I'll be working on bossing with my 6-job skills. Thank you guys for watching.